PowerPoint, and I take us off of live of YouTube. Then we can kind of discuss about everything that's been done with the new website and everything.
Oh, now I got something said this meeting is live streamed.
Yep, it's just now going live. If somebody has access to our YouTube channel or got notified of YouTube, can you push it to the Space Station Requiem page? So that way we can get going and get started on, yeah, we're not going to get into what I'm doing. So welcome to the August monthly online meeting. Today we have with us Mikey and Jeff. They are two of our longstanding members. I am Fleet Captain Robin Kearney-Fraser, also known as Rashana Tael. We're probably going to try to get through this pretty quick tonight so that everybody can get back onto what they want to do for their Saturday nights. I love how that, wow. Okay, so our agenda tonight, we're going to go through our normal departmental reports, which starts out with command. I forgot to put executive officer in there. Communications and operations, engineering, search and rescue, medical and sciences, and security, along with upcoming chapter and Guilds of Requiem events. If you notice that I don't have all the extra stuff in there about who we are and how we started and everything, and that's because I think, you know, after a year of doing meetings, I think we've got plenty of videos up there that say who we are and everything else, that we don't need to keep covering it every month. And I think I might be losing my internet. Okay, I need somebody to mute me. I'm getting feedback.
That's me. I just muted it. Okay.
So, we're going to start off with the commanding officer reporting. Fleet Captain Robin Kearney-Fraser. I actually have just, I keep thinking I've got a lot to cover, and then I realize, no, I really don't. You know, anybody who saw the Rift Runners know that, can now see that my action report is called The View from the Center Seat. I'm going to talk about our open senior staff positions and some of the positions that have been filled. Civilian and pet memberships are live, and we do have new members. So that was pretty cool. We have a steampunk unit that is activating October 23rd, and that is basically our youth program. So we'll go into a little bit of that. And we now have our own domain name, spacestationrequiem.org, because we are an organization. We're not a company, we're not a community. Well, we are a community, but we're an organization. Not only that, the old one was still taken. It's still registered to somebody else. It was probably me, but I don't remember how it is. We have open senior staff positions. Quickly, I'll go over why a senior staff is important. A lot of it has to do with the fact that I can only run on caffeine and creative cuss words for so long before I start to burn out. So having more people in our senior staff, and allowing the fact that we can have an officer, departmental officer, and a departmental chief, means that there's going to be balance in the workload. So go over our current open positions. Departmental command officer, all of our departments does have that available. If you follow this hot link, once we post it up on our website and in our Facebook group and on our page, that hot link will take you to the form for applying. You do have to be a member of Starfleet Command Quadrant 1 at least 30 days, because you do have to take a departmental exam plus the Phase 1 course within 90 days. Departmental chief, what we have done is the member with the senior most tenure is unofficially the chief. But as you'll get to see here in a little bit, we have had somebody apply for one of the positions, and he is now chief, officially the chief of that department. However, we are putting in that any member, which includes civilian members, and yeah, I don't know if we'll open up to steampunk or not, but any member of Space Station Requiem can submit for the chief of a specific department. That is very common on space stations, that you have civilians who are chiefs of a department. I do have a few expectations of my senior staff. I try not to be the big demanding meanie that some people make me out to be. I try to, be very polite and accommodating and understanding that this is just life. We do ask that you attend the meeting or you provide a departmental report. Matt, can you get my phone? And I think Mikey's ding-donging me. Or get me the information for your report prior to the meeting. I think somewhere I have it listed that I need it by 10 a.m. on Friday. I will actually allow until midnight Friday night before a meeting to turn everything in, because I understand we all have lives. And we do ask that you post at least once a month in our public groups. And what that really is that helps us with participation. If people see that other people are participating, then they're going to start participating, which is what we're all wanting for. Mikey, can you message Kaya, Heather, the code for the meeting link? And then we also ask that when and where you are able to please participate. So if that means that we are having a local event and you happen to be local and you're able to participate, great. We always have, even if we're having a local event, we always have things that can be done from by anyone anywhere. We also have in here now that if you want to get involved in community service, then that is something that you can do from anywhere. Give me a second here. I've got somebody ping-ponging me. Oops, come on.
Not me, hands are free.
Nope, no, it's somebody else. Come on, computer. So we have had a discussion, me being me, myself, and I, the perks of being a senior officer outside of working with this charming person here. We will pay for your renewal after you've completed the probationary period. Give me just a second here. I had somebody ding-donging in and it's not going to let me admit. There she is. All right, there we go. So what that means is, say you join Starfleet Command Quadrant 1 this month. You've got your 30 days that you have to wait to be able to take your academy courses. And then you apply for the position. That means after 90 days, when it comes time to renew your membership in December, we are going to pay that for you. That's our way of saying thanks for stepping up and helping out. Second big perk. If you have been in a senior staff position for 5 years, we're going to pay for a lifetime membership. Because I know from when I've been in other organizations and when I first started in Starfleet Command that sometimes December is a really tough month to have everything renew, because Christmas, New Year's, you just got done with Thanksgiving. So we're going to help you out as saying thanks for helping with being in a senior staff position for 5 years by giving you a lifetime membership. That way you will no longer ever have to worry about paying your Starfleet Command membership. We are also going to be giving discount codes to senior staff members. That includes chiefs and senior officers. When we finally decide who our print-on-demand provider is going to be. So it's going to be for the cost of the item, probably just bumped up and rounded up to a nice even number. That is also our way of saying thank you. Not only that, it makes it easier for you to get really cool stuff that has our stuff on it. So we're going to be starting out with our departmental reports, beginning with our executive officer, then communications and operations, engineering, search and rescue, medical and sciences, and security. And I'm going to add a quick little note there that if somebody does come on and decides that they want to do the Marine route with Starfleet Command Quadrant 1, they will fall under security. So we would end up being security/Marines. So look at this. Miss Mikey has unofficially passed her phase 1 and has submitted to start the probationary 90-day period to be our executive officer. So what that means is she's got 90 days in which to complete her phase 2. And I like to remind everybody that Texas is a right to work state. So if at any point she says, this isn't quite what I signed up for, it's a little bit more, than I can handle, or, or maybe I decide, what, Mikey, I really don't like you and your attitude. Just kidding. We can sit down, we can have a conversation, and there's not going to be any hurt feelings on my part. And I hopefully on Mikey's or whoever else enters a probationary period with saying, I just don't think this is working out for me. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I'm not going to say, what, I don't want anything to do with you in my club anymore. Goodbye. No, that's not how I do it. You're still welcome on board, because I certainly, of all people, understand that life sucks. So as you can tell, this decision is so new that we do not have a catchy name for her, for her little area. So Mikey, have you finished eating and can offer us some witty words of wisdom? Or did she?
I'm never done eating.
You're never done eating? Well, I ain't going to say nothing, but because I tend to eat all day too. So that's Mikey's words of wisdom is, I'm never done eating. Second breakfast, third breakfast, fourth lunches, and fifth dinners are always a thing in our place.
And potatoes.
And potatoes. Yes. Must have potatoes. And they got to be the Yukon Golds.
I remember you like potatoes.
Oh, I love potatoes. Yukon Golds and sweet potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
Those are my favorite.
Definitely.
Mikey, you come to us with a bit of a volunteer history. When was the first time you volunteered, and for who?
I was 16 years old and I started volunteering for Last Chance Forever. It's located here in San Antonio. It's a bird of prey rehabilitation facility. I volunteered there for 3 years. I still miss it, but life happens. It was definitely an experience. Had I grown up on a farm, I probably would have been ready for a lot of the stuff I had to do. But it was a bit of a shock, but I handled it. I was like, I've got to feed the birds and this is what they're eating. So yeah, I started volunteering to help feed the birds, train them, get them ready if they were able to go back into the wild. So we released, I think.
So you did a lot of rescue rehabbing?
Yes, that's basically what it was Texas Wildlife would call Mr. Carger, or somebody would go out and pick up an injured bird. Sometimes, what is it called? Wildlife Rescue, they would call too. So in the 3 years that I was there, I know that we released at least 5 Harris Hawks, 2 Golden Eagles, and 3 Bald Eagles back into the wild. So that was awesome. And I have scars on my arms from where I got attacked by a screech owl, and scars on my head where I got attacked by a Harris Hawk. So those are my battle scars.
Battle scars.
Yeah.
So what kind of real life jobs have you had, and what skills are you bringing to the executive officer position?
So I've definitely worked a lot of customer service. So I love to talk to people. I love to mingle, get information from other people. So I take all this input and spit it back out. Also, because I have also worked around a lot of animals. I've had leadership jobs. I was in managerial positions working at the zoo, convenience stores. I've worked in a lot of different places. And
boy, I think there's a joke in there about you being a manager of the zoo and now taking on this position.
I wish I was the manager of the zoo. I'd probably still be there. They would never promote me to the highest position in whatever department. I was always training my supervisors, and it was frustrating.
Yeah, but, well, I know from when I worked at the Corpus Christi Science and History Museum that the only reason that I got promoted into a managerial position is because I was coming in with education. When I started working there, I already had a master's in business management and marketing, and I was working towards my teaching degree. So like, oh yeah, these are all the skills that we want this person to have.
Exactly. And I feel like that was one of the things that kind of held me back, was because I have a lot of schooling. I just don't have degrees or anything like that. But for everything that I had to train my supervisors for, I already knew how to do. So it was a little frustrating, but
Yeah.
I also, I love to talk. In case y'all
We
have
know nothing about that.
No.
Mike also helps out with Guilds of Requiem in the Merchants Guild and in our Crafters Guild. So she is already coming to us with knowledge of Guilds of Requiem and how Space Station Requiem meshes in with that. So I know I kind of threw that at you this morning, right in the middle of you having a bunch of stuff to do today, but have you thought of any specific goals for Space Station Requiem that you'd like to accomplish between now and the end of the year?
Definitely more participation from our members. I know that there are some that will comment on things or post things, but I feel like there's not a whole lot of participation right now. So that's actually
quite common with the Space Station Requiem isn't the first science fiction fan club or even fan club that I've run.
Right.
When I was a part of my very first chapter up in St. Louis, and I don't remember the name of it now, and I know that it's no longer a chapter up there. We had about 50 people who were on our chapter, which it was stellar considering it was 1995, and there really wasn't a whole lot of Star Trek happening anywhere. I think Next Gen had just come out, or Voyager, I don't remember, or may have been Deep Space Nine. My mind's a little bit fuzzy, but we had 50 people, that's 50 paid members with Starfleet International on that chapter. The number of people we had showing up at meetings, the number of people that we actually had doing stuff. Yeah, it does get frustrating, and that's something that you'll hear a common thread whenever you start talking with other senior staff from other chapters is, man, we've got a lot of people on our chapter, but no one's really active. And then it's even harder with COVID. All my chapters have always been physical chapters. This is the first time that I've had a correspondence. Basically, in essence, we are a correspondence chapter because we really don't do a whole lot of, outside of BantuckyCon, we really don't do a whole lot here locally. Everything is online. Our presence is online. So that for me, that has been a big change. That and how do we get members?
Not to interrupt, but I feel you.
Yep.
I'm watching, so I feel you.
Yep. So that's kind of two challenges that we have. Is one, we need more members. Every chapter that I know needs more members. Recruiting needs to be real big. But then also, once we have those members, retaining them with different activities and ways to participate that appeal to different portions is also really important. That's why we started the civilian and pet fleet, because I've had some people come to me and they say, I really love your online group, but I hate Star Trek. I don't want to belong to a Star Trek club. So that gives them the option of that, since we're in our own universe, we're not really a Star Trek club. Especially if anybody is read the latest installment on the Guilds of Requiem set for Cassiopeia Rising, that discovered that a familiar blue box showed up. So our next one is communications and operations. Chief Petty Officer Jeff Lester, he was pretty much acting as our departmental chief, and just recently applied to actually be the departmental chief. So he has entered his 90-day probationary period to essentially keep doing what he's already been doing.
Thank you.
So I like to be able to give people credit for helping out and officially saying, hey, this is what we're doing. So a lot of this, Jeff, I know I kind of filled in on my own. So it's stuff that I know that we have going on. As everybody has already heard, we have a new website, spacestationrequiem.org. We are always looking for feedback in ways to make it more stellar than it already is. We can only look at a site for so long, like this background of the Rift. I've been looking at this background for 7 years. I just now noticed that there's dragon heads in it.
That's the dragon heads. I noticed that at the beginning.
Yep, I looked at it for 7 years, and it never dawned on me that the Draconis Nebula has dragon heads in it. Actually, what it is it's a dual mirror image. This is actually the Draconis Nebula that I got from NASA, and I just basically rotated it and mirrored it so it looks like there's a little rift and empty space in between there where things come through. Our next Rift Runners will be published on the first Saturday of January, which I also believe is January the 1st. I could be wrong because I'm not looking at the calendar. We are making the due date for the submissions to be the December Yuletide celebration, which is on the 18th at 7 p.m. We will not accept any late submissions for that one. One, because we've got like 4 months, September, October, November, December. You got almost 4 whole months to get stuff into us. That, and I want our members to be able to enjoy their holiday with their family. Those who are pagan celebrate Yule on the 20th or the 21st. Those who are Christian are celebrating Christmas on the 24th and 25th. I believe Hanukkah is in there at some point. I am not familiar. I'm not familiar enough with that religion to know what the exact dates are, but I'm sure one of our Jewish members will beat me over the head with it so that I remember it. Or is it Yom Kippur? No, it's Hanukkah. It's Hanukkah. Kwanzaa is in there.
Hanukkah, yeah.
Yep. And, and we do take the month of January off for general membership. That is with Guilds of Requiem and with Space Station Requiem, kind of across the board. We use that as we're not planning to do anything this month because everybody's still trying to physically and financially come back from the holidays.
Yep.
So how are we going to make this happen? If I'm saying that on December 18th, that's it, we're all going on break after that point, and it's coming out on the first Saturday of January. The website has this really neat blog feature where we can schedule our posts and they're going to come out with a specific date and time. So if anybody's looked at the website and looked at the blog and the Rift Runners, that it's tagged August Rift Runners, I actually had all that in a week before it actually published out. That was one of the first things I did on the website was get the blog up, and we got everything transferred over to there as articles, and it kind of was really neat because one of the critiques that I got as we're writing everything is like, man, this is a whole lot of information for one small publication. So I took a lot of that information, which is standard information that needs to be known, and we made that a part of the website. It's a lot of it's actually its own page. So then what we took from that is anything that was actually a timely article, timely information that people needed to know, and we made that into the Rift Runners. So I feel that worked really well. I don't know. I haven't gotten any feedback from anybody else saying, I really hate that. Hey, I really like the new website. That's really cool. Or hey, maybe you want to try it this way. But we're certainly open to it. We do have Space Station Requiem at guildsofrequiem.com. Anytime you want to send us a message. And just, put in the subject line what it's about. If you just tell me hi, I guarantee you right now that's going to go to my spam folder, and I'm probably not going to look at it if the subject line is hi, how are you? Please don't test me on that. So what's also cool about the website is I can make certain documents public on the website from our Google Drive. Space Station Requiem has a Gmail account, so we're able to use Google Suites. Guilds of Requiem, as a nonprofit corporation, has a domain server in which we have emails. It does also go through Google Suites. So that was really helpful on being able to just pretty much slap all of the PowerPoints up there and everybody can see them. And we are always looking for content contributors and additional volunteers to help this vital department. Like I was saying, we are a virtual chapter. So being able to communicate and have our communications department be one of our primary functioning operating departments is very important to the success of the club. Okay, come on, computer. So next is engineering and search and rescue. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, these are basically our general membership people. They've joined Starfleet Command either as a family unit or they've just joined as themselves. If they're in the greater San Antonio area and they're not quite sure which department they want to be in, we automatically default them into the engineering department. If they are outside the greater San Antonio area, they are automatically defaulted to the search and rescue department. Basically, this is our recruiting and retaining.
Are you doing a slide presentation today?
Yes. Is my screen share not showing up?
No. It's not even on Facebook.
I was gonna text you and let you know that it's not
Well, I
showing.
wouldn't have heard it. Wow. Okay. There we go. Now can you all see what's on here? I think what happened is I went to let Mikey and Heather in and I got off of the screen share. Well, boy, do I feel like an idiot now because I'm sitting here going, hey, everybody's seeing this. Why is everybody looking at me funny?
Oh, I was thinking that because you were probably confusing some people.
Well, this is why I put the PowerPoints into our groups and onto our website is so that when I dislocated my knee earlier today, I'm on really good pain medications. You're welcome.
So am I.
Yeah.
Where's mine? Hello.
Well, you know, if you really want some, they wouldn't let me take any home because I'm not allowed to have stuff at home of this caliber. Something about my blood pressure goes really, really down. So we're to engineering and search and rescue. Like I said, all the departmental officers are vacant. Our senior most officer in this one, man, I can't even spell my own kid's name. Lieutenant Alexander Kearney, he's been with Space Station Requiem since we started in 2013. Him and Caitlin now have their own memberships. By default, that's what this little D right here stands for. By default, the departmental chief is Master Chief Petty Officer Christopher Van Cleve. He grew up in Star Trek and Starfleet International and Starfleet Command and the 501st and Royal Manticore Navy. We're all the groups that he ended up growing up in. So if you ever got questions, they may or may not be able to answer, but they're both in their own little world of being their own adults right now. But we do have some information to pass along in that, oops, I need to make this go away. Civilian and pet fleet on Space Station Requiem. We are now in our second month because it went live the 1st of July. We do have some new members. The Corbin, Tanya and Skip Corbin have joined us. I've got a couple other people thinking about it. This is a new adventure for everyone in the fact that usually when I run a science fiction fan club, it is specifically for one organization. So we were already unique in the fact that our primary parent organization is Guilds of Requiem. They pay our bills. That's the polite way to put it. Starfleet Command Quadrant 1, that's our primary networking organization. So we try to give people benefits and incentives to belong to Starfleet Command. It's really great in the fact that they have an annual convention in Indianapolis every year. They have Starfleet Academy, so you have ways of testing your knowledge of either the different departments in Star Trek or of different Star Trek episodes. So it's really cool. What's really great about our Special Operations Civilian and Pet Fleet is that if you're not really comfortable with Star Trek or you're not really comfortable with Star Wars, or maybe you just like everything, and you just can't decide which one do you want to belong to, that's where this comes in from. And on top of that, you're supporting two worthy projects, specifically Space Station Requiem and Service Dog Handlers Guild. That is our local organization that assists those with service dogs or other working dogs in training resources. Before we went on COVID hiatus, we actually helped pay somebody's emergency pet bill. Their service dog had gotten attacked in a Walmart by somebody who decided to just slap a vest on their pet and bring it with. So by joining Civilian and Pet Fleet, you're helping us help those with disabilities and service dogs. Come on, computer. So as I said earlier, it's open to anyone without regard to other fan club affiliations. Starfleet Command Quadrant 1 members are able to join us just for the benefit of Pet Fleet. I'm not going to sit there and say, no, you need to transfer to Space Station Requiem. If somebody comes to me and says, hey, I really want to help support out and I want my dog to join, I will certainly do that. This also then gives you the opportunity, as my way of saying thanks for helping support organizations that are very close to my heart, is that you and or your pet can be immortalized in the continuing storyline of Anna Tor. For those who are not familiar, she is our fictitious commanding officer of Space Station Requiem. She is an Elasian, and in our universe, Elasians live to be about 1,000 years old. That's a lot of time frame to need a bunch of different characters. And as I stated earlier, proceeds from this project are used for funding Space Station Requiem and the Service Dog Handlers Guild of Requiem. And participation in persona creation is at the discretion of the civilian member. Actually, all members. If a member says to me, I really don't want a persona. I'm really, that's, being a part of the storyline. While that may sound cool, it's not something I really want to do, and I'm going to respect that. I'm not going to write you in. I'm not going to have you being forcefully sucked out an airlock or anything in our storyline. I promise not to be that mean on anybody's character leaving. It also helps with that if we are having an event, that costuming and cosplaying for our events is understood. So we were supposed to last weekend do event ambassadors for the Krotonsky Rainbow Senior Center in Kendall County. Because the COVID numbers were getting high, they opted to postpone it to November, and I'll get more into the details on that. But we do ask that you come in appropriate attire, so this is outer space or Night Under the Stars. I don't know, Hot Summer Nights, I think what it was, but it was actually outer space. So anything that would be a futuristic looking space person outfit, or maybe you're going to go retro and do the whole silver lame with the fishbowl over your head. That's all we're asking, is that you do understand. Every once in a while, we may have events that are deemed casual. That would be like our December Yuletide celebration. That I'm not going to say no. I want everybody to show up on Zoom dressed up in Starfleet. That's just all. No, we're not that way. We're aiming towards having club t-shirts, possibly club polo. Just make sure that you're printed, you're presentable whenever you do show up for a physical event. We do have a club t-shirt design contest. I think we kind of maybe worked our way through it. We just need somebody with graphic design skills. I might pick on my daughter-in-law to help flesh out that little ideal that Tanya started, and help it be our t-shirt design. My mock-up t-shirts that I've done through Cafe Press and Vistaprint, I was not happy with on how the sampler came to me. We do have our Starfleet Academy monthly challenges. This is not a challenge being put on by Starfleet Command. Space Station Requiem is the organization that is giving this challenge out. We're the ones providing the prizes. So the month of May, June, or July, there was no winner. So that means we now have, should we have a winner in August, it's a $100 gift certificate to the Guilds of Requiem website. There's crafts on there. We've got some Kenyan jewelry. We have rune stones, soap, lots of soap. And if there's something that, you see on there, but you want a little bit different, please let me know. I did put a deadline for any special orders need to be happen before the end of September so that I can get it to you before Christmas. All participants will be entered in a drawing in December for the Space Station Requiem to pay your Starfleet Command renewal. Only courses that are registered for and graded during that month will be counted. So if you take a course on the 29th of the month, there's a pretty good chance that it might not get counted because it takes 3 to 5 business days for Starfleet Academy to grade things. Yeah. So you do have to have your membership in Starfleet Command at least 30 days before you can take an Academy course. So what that means is if you sign up today, and you can start taking courses in the middle of September. That means you could be in, September or October, you could actually win that. Mikey was asking me earlier exactly how many Deep Space Nine courses does she have to take, and I'll get with that in just a minute. I saw that pop up on my deal. Check with your commanding officer. If you are not a member of Space Station Requiem and you're taking this challenge, check with your commanding officer to see if they give promotion points in your chapter for completing Academy courses. I know we do because we're trying to encourage participation. However, each person is responsible for submitting their scores to Space Station Requiem at guildsofrequiem.com. Unless we have your permission, and you've already discussed this with your commanding officer, that they can share your scores with us after you are done. I only have one person who's requested that, and that's because they're visually impaired. So they are already getting help with being able to use an assistive reader, have somebody read them the questions. They still have to come up with the answers, but that's the only person that I'm currently accepting scores from that is trying to participate in the challenge. And they've done one and they got an 80. So here's our August. Basically, it tells you where you go to the website for Starfleet Command, you go to the Starfleet Academy exam, step exam request, and we are in Deep Space Nine this month. These are basically the instructions. These are the 4 steps that you do to be able to take the test. Once you have your scores, you need to remember to forward them to us at Space Station Requiem at guildsofrequiem.com. Upcoming months are Voyager in September, the animated series or Next Gen in October, Discovery or Next Gen in November. Now, there's kind of 2 reasons why we're doubling up on Next Gen. One, there's a lot more of all the series that are in there. That's the one with kind of the most course options, but not everybody has access to the animated series. Not everybody has access to Discovery. And that's why I'm going to remind everybody, if you take a course in October that's Next Gen, you cannot count that same course in November. It's only what's taken in October, and it's only what's taken in November. I have currently taken 3 Deep Space Nine exams, and I kind of bombed 2 of them. So I'm going to tell y'all right now, it's not going to take that much for y'all to beat me this month. Okay, well, I guess that's what happens when I put in a new deal. Is launching October 23rd is our steampunk unit. And STEAM is an acronym for science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And so this is a way to help keep your young ones engaged, not only in fandom, but also in these 5 crucial categories in their education. We have partnered with several organizations to help enhance the experience and the knowledge base that we can draw from. Just go to our website, go to the blog, look for the Rift Runners August one, scroll down, and you'll see the little turbo left to the Steampunk Kids Zone. And that will tell you which groups we have partnered with to help with the different areas. This is included with all civilian memberships, and it is open for participation from other fan organizations and fandom that we have partnered with. So that would be like, if anybody from the USS Masamoon has a child that would be interested, I think we have a little bit of a 501st contingency among our group, and several other organizations that we have partnered with. The only thing is that we're not a babysitting unit. Parental involvement is a must. Most of us have our own kids to raise or to take care of, and we're there to help provide activities and help provide guidance. But mom and dad, it's to make sure that they're doing these activities safely, that they're comprehending what's being said and done in these activities, because you know your child better than we do. Medical and Sciences report. Currently, the departmental officer is vacant. By default, Specialist Heather Rosh is our departmental chief. She can shoot me later. So as I stated, last weekend we were supposed to be at fundraiser event for Rainbow House Senior Citizen Center in Kendall County. They did postpone it to November. She will let me know no later than November 1st if it will be going forward, will be happening. So we are also making November 1st our deadline for signing up. I will keep the sign up form open. We do have a tabletop of 10, and we currently have 6 people signed up. So there's room for 4 more people to get in on this opportunity. Who is it for? It's the Kronsky Place Rainbow Senior Citizen is their annual fundraising gala. It's at Mark Motors of Bernie. They asked that we be there at 6 p.m. to help welcome their guests in full fandom finery and style. We've basically been asked to be an event ambassador, to do what we can to help enhance the event and make it more memorable in a positive way for people who are attending this fundraiser that is $1,500 for a tabletop of 10. So what our expectations are is from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. we ask that you be available to mingle with the guests in persona, hand out flyers to those who are interested in fandom, and look super fine in photos. I can guarantee you pretty much every time that I've done an event ambassador, I spend a lot of time looking pretty for people taking photos, and found myself tagged in some really interesting places when Facebook first came out that I wasn't aware that people were even taking my photo. But you know what? I'll take it because it was all good. Food will be available. We will have our own table away from the food. We do have an allergen alert on the sign-up form that we are asking you to understand. And if you have any questions, please reach out and ask me. The Spasmatics are still scheduled to be there. They will start about 9 p.m. They were told that there was going to be some Trekkies at the event, and from my understanding, they are really psyched about it. So as I've stated, they will let us know before November 1st if the event will go on this year due to increased COVID cases happening again and the COVID variant. Either way, they would be thrilled to have us at every annual fundraising event that they hold. Oh, that's what you're talking about, the little pop box. Okay, I couldn't understand what you were saying there, Mikey, but now I get it. What to expect when you are an event ambassador? We ask that you bring your A game in costuming and uniforms. The shirt that I'm wearing is a pajama top that will not be acceptable. I'm just doing it because I'm comfy and I can't wear anything else right now. We do ask that you bring your energetic passion for all fandoms. You're getting to meet the Pope behavior. And the reason I say this is because tabletops are $1,500 for 10. Individuals are $200. An individual plus a guest is $300. So essentially that is what they are paying us to be there that night. That's how I want people to think about it. This is your job from 6 p.m. until 9 p.m. And those who stay later, this is your job. You just got paid $200 to be there for that many hours. A cash bar is available for drinks. We do ask that you know your limit. Both ourselves and USS Masamoon have a zero tolerance policy of being intoxicated at an event. We do Space Station Requiem actually goes one step further in that we have a zero tolerance policy of being seen drinking while mingling with the guests. That stems from, we had an incident with Habitat for Humanity down in Corpus Christi, where one of our members was essentially going around and drinking everybody's alcoholic drinks and proceeded to get very smashed and very belligerent. We were asked not to come back. I prefer not to have that happen again, because we are there as their ambassadors. So if you're not local to the greater San Antonio area, how can you get involved? Starfleet Command has a sponsor, and I need to update this because I was informed that it's not Ronald McDonald House that they collect pop tabs for. They collect pop tabs for the Shriners Hospital. There's only so many Shriner hospitals in the United States where there's more Ronald McDonald houses. So as long as you're getting involved with the community, and when you go to do your drop off, have a club t-shirt on, have a club polo on, have your Star Trek uniform on, or whatever fandom that you're in, and take get a couple of pictures with them and submit that to us. We will count that as community service for us, whether it's Ronald McDonald House or the Shriners. Now, we do get credit with Starfleet Command to donate to the Shriners Hospital's Pop Tab program. But I'm extending that because I know that there's more Ronald McDonald houses than there are Shriner hospitals. If you participate in Box Top for Education, you no longer have to clip those little things off of the boxes and send them to the school. You can now download their app and scan a QR code. And what that does is it gives you credit and gives your school of choice credit, but then you can send us a copy of the receipt, or once a month, your totals off of the app, and we're going to give you credit for it. If you volunteer at a local charity event, we just need to know the who, what, where, when, and why, and how you participated, and send photos of you in your cosplay or club shirt or Star Trek or however it is that you went there to represent fandom, and we're going to give you promotion points and credit for that. And that also puts you in, doing all these puts you in for our annual awards that have to do with medical and sciences and the volunteering in the community. If you know of any community service opportunities or would like to have us at your event, just email spacestationrequiem@guildsofrequiem.com. In the subject line, put community service opportunity. Finally is our security report, and our departmental chief is Specialist Janet D. Piazza. I was hoping to have gotten my got her back for that, so congratulations, Janet, you got promoted.
Yay, Janet.
Yeah.
That was actually supposed to go out in June, but June was kind of crazy, so for some reason she got missed. But when I went back to update that she's now the departmental chief, like, oh, oops, let's get that fixed. So what do we have for upcoming events? Our one and only BantuckyCon. Normally this is a one-day event, in person and physical. And after we'd had 120-degree weather at the end of August, we decided, October seems great. And it kind of goes with the Rocky Horror Picture Show and everything. Life being what it is and COVID still being an issue, we're going to hold the event virtually the last week of October. So it's going to begin on the 23rd of October and go through the 31st. So it's actually slightly a little bit longer than a week. With it being online, there are so many ways that members can get involved. Other chapters and other fandoms are encouraged to participate, get their information in there. The information will not only be going on to a Facebook event that we have created, but our website also has an event page for BantuckyCon that we can go in and we can use. We can do live presentations off of our website. We can give links to other groups and shopping opportunities off of our website in the event for BantuckyCon. So that was really cool. Because this is our only formal event that we do host, it is an all hands on deck event because it happens once a year. So if you are able to participate, have the ability to participate, have ideals, please bring them. It is now a combination of our steampunk activities, which I think we used to have at the beginning of August, because we also had a supply our students and backpack drops and fills, and we coordinated with some local organizations on getting school supplies out to students. So any of our steampunk activities or other convention type activities are encouraged. I just spoke to one of our belly dancing troops, and they're going to try to do something that's steampunky for a presentation, and send that to us. Our big caveat is it must be family friendly. So I haven't quite figured out how we're going to work showing our annual showing of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, because a lot of people don't describe that as family friendly.
No.
But I'm going to tell on my youngest son. He used to go to sleep to this. By the time they'd get to Frankfurter's house, that kid would be out cold. And this is from the day he was born. So, yeah, we're working on it. So like I was saying, our new website has several features where we can host activities and post videos too. And that's going to be really great for those who are trying to get away from the Facebook bureaucratic system. And upcoming events, we have vending information for BantuckyCon. If you are giving an activity presentation that is either STEAM related or convention related, UFO related, paranormal related, trying to think of all the different contexts that we have there. If you're an author wanting to give information on your book, as long as you are doing a presentation of interest, vending for free is free on the event. I'm not charging anyone anything to be able to post into our group, but I do have to have an activity that you're going to be presenting on before I will approve any posts on either our website or the Facebook event. So if you're going to go live, we need to know when. That way I can push your feed into our events, onto our web social media. If you are otherwise uploading a video or have a link to a YouTube video, then we will publish that for you. If you're like, I really don't want to do an activity, I'd rather just go ahead and pay and help support your organization and help support future events. For $20, you can make one post per day. So the 23rd to the 31st, that's what? 8 days, 9 days? Yeah, I can't do math right now. It's at least a week. If you pay $30, you can make 2 posts per day. If you want to do $50, it's unlimited posting through the entire event, and we invite you to be a co-host to the event, so that way it automatically pushes to your page and your followers. All proceeds are going to benefit Space Station Requiem and future BantuckyCons. And that is the end of everything. Stop.